Good morning, everyone. Blessed Sunday to you all. I'm going to continue in the energy of meditation, reflection, giving thanks and gratitude for being here this morning, for making it out of our homes, making it here safely, to be in the presence of spirit and community. This is a musical prayer. I wanted love, 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 love. I wanted love, 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 love. I wanted love, 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 love. I wanted love, love, love. So I'm gonna pray for it. 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 I wanted peace, 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 peace. I wanted peace, 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 peace. I needed peace, 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 peace. I needed peace. I'm gonna pray for it. 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 Good health and wealth and abundance, wisdom and prosperity. Spirit, we call on your presence. Within is all that we need. Good health and wealth and abundance, wisdom and prosperity. Spirit, we call on your presence. Within is all that we need. I'm gonna pray for it. 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 Pray for it. Pray for it. Perfect God within me, perfect life within me, which is God. This is God. Come forth into our expression, through me as that which I am. This is God. This is God. Lead me ever in the paths of perfection. I said, lead me ever in the paths of perfection, and cause me to see only that which is God. Cause me to see only that which is God. I'm gonna pray for it. I'm gonna pray for it. Gonna pray for it.
Good morning. Thanks to our wonderful musician today, Kev Choice, and later, Lisa Ferrero. And welcome to the Oakland Center for Spiritual Living, where we teach spiritual principles and practices that nourish us, uplift us, and celebrate our oneness with all of life. A special welcome to those of you joining us for the very first time. We're so glad you're here with us in the sanctuary today. Please raise your hand and one of our ushers will bring you a welcome packet. Also, a big welcome to everyone who is joining us on YouTube Live. Make sure you sign up for our weekly newsletter so you can learn about all the fun things we have to offer here at the Oakland Center. Let's take a moment to bless our children wherever they are. We honor all our youth and children in our community and the world. We love you. We see you, your spirit's gift to us. Thank you for being in our lives. And so it is. You're invited to visit the bookstore after service on Sundays. Lots of new products that make for the perfect gift and new books for your enjoyment. Everything is 40% off in August. Yay. Next Wednesday, August the 17th. There you go. There it is. Gabriella Conde and the loving stewards of Mother Earth remind us that nature includes the furry, the fuzzy, the slimy, the scaly, and everyone else. Meditation is at 6:30, service begins at 7. East Bay Church of Religious Science is presenting a special day with Reverend Dr. Edward Villon, spiritual leader of Centers for Spiritual Living, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on August 20th. Reverend Edward will guide us into Embracing Mystical Joy, a day of spiritual practices. Learn more in the Village News tomorrow or on the events page. Remember that the Diversity Circle meets every fourth Friday at 7 p.m. August 26th, join Oakland Center in an interactive, inclusive, and engaging group dedicated to digging into the tough stuff through respectful group discussion, guest speakers, book readings, and more. Okay, all right. I guess there was a note missing. It's not in there. Okay. But today, after service, Lisa Ferraro will have a workshop, and it is from 12:30? Okay, it begins at 12:30. I'm sorry, I didn't see it listed here. Okay. Diversity Circle we already discussed, and so now we're talking about an upcoming barbecue. Woohoo. Not yet. Aha, there we go. So who doesn't love a fun barbecue? A chance to visit and gather with friends and family, and a big shout out to Craig Ferguson and to John Russell, who will be our grill masters August 28th, starting at noon. There's a sign-up sheet in the courtyard if you would like to engage and help with setup and so forth. Okay, for details on upcoming events, workshops, classes, please go to the Thursday Village News or oaklandcsl.org, or check out the welcome table in the courtyard, and of course, the rotating slideshow before and after service. Now, please read along with me as we read our vision and mission statement. The vision of the Oakland Center for Spiritual Living is to joyfully reveal the love and oneness of God. We are a welcoming and inclusive spiritual community dedicated to individual transformation and collective growth. Our purpose is to love, inspire, and serve our community and the world through education, music, prayer, and play. And as always, for information on all that's going on at the Oakland Center, visit the website www.oaklandcsl.org and sign up for the weekly newsletter, the Thursday Village News. And don't forget, you can follow us on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, where you'll get special updates and content that you'll only find by liking and subscribing to OCSL.
Wow. Thank you, Cheryl. Whew. Good morning. My name is Regina Buckwalter, and I'm going to be the pulpit assistant today. And there are a couple of things to do before we pray. The first is to continue the process of calling in our new minister. And we've been immersed in that intention, and we're going to continue that this morning. So if we could have the slide about the qualities, we can all rest in to ourselves, drop in, and please focus on the qualities we are calling forth for our next minister. And take a few moments to call forth these qualities. In other words, what do they feel like as we are here to feel and love? So what do these qualities feel like within ourselves? And therefore we can bring forth these qualities into our community and deepen into them. Recognizing that this covenant is the culmination of our visioning as a community and as individuals. Let us take this time to go within and call forth those qualities we seek in our new minister, or ministers as well, as embodying them within ourselves as we bring about our greatest good. So the readings for today, the first one is The Water of Life by Autumn Peltier. Water is really sacred. Water is life. Mother Earth doesn't need us, we need her. We shouldn't have to fight for our water. We should just be able to have clean drinking water. The next reading is by Ralph Waldo Emerson. Everything in nature contains all the powers of nature. Everything is made of one hidden stuff. So you can take a few minutes and just close your eyes if you feel comfortable closing your eyes. And just feel your feet, feel where you're sitting, anchor yourself into your body and feel the sensation of the breath that moves through us. Dropping deeper into the earth, we connect with Mother Earth and we rest. As we connect with Mother Earth, we feel the support and we are calm. Because the connection with the Mother Earth is the calming, supportive force where we relax and feel the ease of life. No matter what is going on in our lives, connecting to the Mother is our nourishment, and we say yes to the calm. As we drop in and feel the breath moving through us. The breath is spirit, and that spirit is the living force, the vitality of the waters through us. As we say yes to the breath, we say yes to the waters, the river of life moving through us. And that living life moving through us is love. We breathe, we feel, and we love, and we know that God is good. No matter what the external circumstances are, we feel the love, we feel the breath, we know we are light, and we are one with this goodness, and we are calm. We feel the infinite power moving through us as God is that infinite power that moves through us, through the breath, through the love, through the light, all united. And we are one with that, and we are one with the divine spirit, and we are calm. We are calm with the waters, and there is peace moving through us. And I bless this service. I bless Lisa Ferrara, who has stepped up to inspire us with her music, to inspire us with her wisdom. I bless all of those who have gathered here to make this service the most magnificent connection of our community with Kev Choice, who brings his musical inspiration and allows us to rejoice in the community, in the unity that we all are here. And I just release my word into the law, giving thanks. Thanks to the yes, thanks to all who have shown up. Thanks to this amazing community here in Oakland as we spread our joy, our love, our calm through the city. And we rest in this oneness of the breath and love and light. And so it is. Amen.
Thank you for that beautiful prayer. Just staying in that space of openness. Once you catch on to the lyric of this, sing with us, it's open wide my heart. And allow the waters of life, the riches of joy and peace to fill you to overflowing. Open wide Open wide my heart. 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 My heart. My heart. My heart. My Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lisa and Kev. How beautiful. What a beautiful, beautiful song to open our hearts even wider than when we walked in to the sanctuary, yes? So I guess I can take this off for a moment. I'm Reverend Jerry, and I'm really happy to be here. This is a very special day for each and every one of us. And it's so good to see all your faces. It's good to see those of you we haven't seen in a while. What a blessing. Ziska back there, I see her. Oh, what a treat. And each and every one, thank you for being here with us today to bless us and grace us on this journey of Sunday service. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Lisa Ferraro. Lisa is a visionary and considered a modern-day mystic who founded Soul Call Global in 1999. Her music with Avica Luckett inspires many in the New Thought world and beyond. She is a musician, an author, speaker, spiritual teacher, retreat producer, oh my gosh, the list goes on, and a facilitator who for nearly 3 decades produces creativity and inspirational retreats internationally. And this is going to be a very special day for us because not only do we have Lisa here during our service, she's conducting a beautiful workshop after service, which only requires a love offering, so we can be even more inspired by her. So there is a sign-up sheet for that out on the desk and out on the table in the out there. No, out in the courtyard, actually. So sorry. So let me tell you more about Lisa, a world-class singer, songwriter, and who has charted on the Billboard Jazz Chart. Wow. Lisa brings her broad experience and talent to create a conscious global community, a masterful orchestrator of sound, light, energy, and consciousness. Her teaching style is engaging and heart-opening, as we just experienced through that beautiful song. So it's my honor to bring our beloved Lisa back to our sacred sanctuary. She's part of this movement here in a big, big way. So, Lisa?
Thank you very, very. Thank you very much. Lord, we're hugging. I'd give you a great big hug, but I don't know if we should do that right now. It is so great to be home. I was talking with Reverend Jerry and Andy, saying, landing here in Oakland and picking up my car and pulling off, onto Doolittle or wherever the heck I was. It was like, thank God I'm home. And then being here with you all this morning, that's like times 10. So I want to thank you for this privilege and this opportunity to be here with you at Oakland Center for Spiritual Living. So thank you for being here with me and for all that you've been doing to maintain the spiritual integrity and the consciousness as we explore the waters of life over the last couple of years, the waters of life. So the talk today, the workshop is going to be come to the root of the root. And I wish I could say, and we're offering a barbecue at the workshop. No barbecue at the workshop. And I don't know about the rest of you, but Andy and I were laughing about the grill master. I was like, my mother was a grill master, but not the same kind. Like, always with the questions. There'll be no grill master at the workshop either. No barbecue, no grill master, but we will be nourishing the soul. We're going to be bringing in all that we need to nourish the soul. So we nourish the body, we nourish the mind, we nourish the soul. And so that's what it's going to be about. And so talking about the waters of life, there's so many metaphors for water in all of the spiritual teachings that have come down throughout millennia, right? Lots and lots of them. But if I were to ask you, when you hear the term waters of life, what comes to your mind? What do you think of first? Just shout it out. Ocean, Bobby? Baptism, rivers. Bring the water? Drinking water, of course. Yeah. Great. How many of you think about the internalization of what water is to the body and how we are? What do you have for a word? The movement and the flow through the body. Spirit moves as a flowing force through the body. Yes, say that 5 times. Spirit moves as a flowing force through the body. Yes, it does. And we also have the opportunity to cleanse as we watch running water cleanse. Itika wrote a song called Were I, and she talks about were I a river, I would flow, rubbing mountainsides to delta shores, and I would carry the stories of the stones. So what if we could make ourselves a little more like the qualities of water and recognize that's what we can do. We can carry light like stories of the stones. We can share each story that we have, maybe a stone in the stream of our life that we had to go around and rub up against to take in something meaningful, to let us know how powerful we are when we stay connected to Source. Something I always say, and I'm writing a little book about, is called the Source is the Force. And that is the force of love and the force of light. I was reading something about light the other day and how when light is absorbed in water, which of course it is, it slows down so that it can get into the water. Because water is a little more dense than light. Well, what if we take that little piece of information and incorporate it into the realization that these gorgeous human bodies that carry the stories of the stones are somewhere between, it's like 55, 65, almost 70% water in some cases, right? That's not news to a lot of people. How many of you are hearing that for the first time? You jumped the gun. How many of you knew that? Of course. So that's why we say water is life. El agua es la vida. It is life itself. And it is sustaining us in many different ways. So what if today, when we contemplate the idea of water is life, what if we start to contemplate the qualities, like you're calling in the qualities of a new minister? Let's contemplate the qualities of water. Who wants to shout out a quality of water? Flow? Pure? Purification? Cleansing? Essential? And then the qualities of water itself, flexibility. It's very flexible. How many of us can just go with the flow no matter what? Like, what I love is that it was water is life, and there were just some tricky little things we were talking about with regard to my workshop. Completely not attached. I'm just like going with the flow of how this works out, and I know it is going to work out. And I'm happy to be here offering a workshop, but mostly just being with you right in this moment, and the next moment, and the next moment. Like drops of water. Like, so open wide my heart. In the prayer we did in the room before we started this morning, I was just, why I chose that song is it's the wider open your heart bucket, the wetter you can be. And the more you can flow. You just take that spiritual charge like rain into the soul of your consciousness and allow yourself to carry the stories of the stones. I had to go with the flow again. Where I was staying, I realized there was no printer. So I've got these, they're not tiny little pieces of paper, but they're small enough. This is my, looks like my hair is how I write. It's like very curly and wavy and windy. But I was thinking about some of the great master teachers who teach us early on to be like the qualities of water. It's fluid, spontaneous, water spontaneous, flexible. And I like to think about other qualities of water and how it's like people. Salty. Everybody laughs because it's either us or somebody. We think about pure, crystal clear water. How many of you know where you go out to a stream someplace up in the mountains and come back with fresh, clear, delicious water? Yeah. It's important that we recognize that because we're so much like water, like Dr. Emoto, you remember those stories? Words can affect us if we allow them to, or we can be more like water, more than the words, be more like the water itself, and take on the qualities of the light, which has made itself slow down so that we could fully embody the light. Think about that for a second. Words can affect us, but if we come forth with more light that is already in 70% of our bodies, we've got a head start. Things from the outside don't have as much of an impact then. We'll call it be an outpact. Just reverse the whole idea of it and find that still point where you become the conduit for the pure story, the pure flowing waters of life. Rumi said, a moment of happiness sitting on the veranda. The two of us here, the one in soul, you and I. We feel the flowing of the waters of life. The beauty in the garden, one in soul, you and I. So when we stop seeing, when you think about how many drops, this is another illustration of Rumi, listen, no drop, but how many drops of water make up even just a stream? If any one of those drops felt like they were the most important, how would that look? It would look like, it would look like the mighty Los Angeles River. Have you ever seen that? Because it doesn't exist. It's like all dried up. It's in the first time I saw what that was, I thought it was an old track where a train used to come, but that's where the water is supposed to come through, but it's really not. I'm from Pittsburgh originally. We have 3 real dedicated rivers. Pittsburgh? Hey, all right. How yins doing? How yins guys doing? Yeah, you're from Pittsburgh. If you laugh at that, you definitely get it. But thinking about, how when we pull our consciousness together, one, individual drop at a time. What a world we can create. The waters of life. The waters of life allow us to step forth as our individual consciousness and tune it into the force so that we can become a source of nourishing water. Just by walking into a room, we can change the consciousness and people feel refreshed, renewed. And it's ours to do every single day, some spiritual practice we put into place to keep our consciousness vibrating at the pitch of the light in the water, which is you. Tuning into the light, like dialing out, of the infinite, a radio dial of the thing you most want to tune into. Kev is a beautiful musician. Andy's also a gorgeous musician too. Like, we tuning into what's you can't hear yet, but it's there, and then we bring it through, and then we all get to enjoy it together. What is your soul calling through the waters of life to allow to come through and to flow through you? There's a quality of water that maybe we don't think of all the time, but there's a desirelessness to it, isn't there? It's not trying to be anything. It literally goes with the flow. The master teacher Bruce Lee says, "Be like water, my friend." I often think like the second part of that is like Bruce Lee, martial artist. "Be like water, my friend, or I'll kick your butt." I don't think that's how it goes, but sometimes it's like that. Doesn't it feel like that's what happens to us? Be like water, my friend, otherwise God's going to trouble the water. But then how do you know when to stop going with the flow? Going with the flow, going with the flow, going with the flow, and then it's like it's starting to get, there's this intelligence we need to tap into that is of a higher vibration that is accessible at all times. It's the radio dial of you, W-U-U-U. And it's unique to the calling of your soul, the calling of your heart. When is it time to get off that? I remember many years ago, how many of you like to go whitewater rafting or just kayaking and things like that? I went whitewater rafting one time because I always wanted to go. It was a long time ago. And you know how at the beginning they have the person who's telling you how to maneuver through the rapids when they get there? The point is, the object of the game is to stay in the boat, stay in the raft. And the rafts themselves are flexible, so when they bounce off the rocks, and there's a whole idea. So, you paddle this way, we were told, and then paddle that way if you're doing this, and you're going this way, and you're doing that. So me being the, got it, our group is going to make it, it's going to be so much fun. So here we are paddling along, going with the flow. Feel the flowing of the waters of life. As Rumi would say, the beauty of the garden, when it's so beautiful. Here comes the rapid. As soon as we hit it, I turn around and I say, "Okay, everybody." And I look, and they had all thrown their oars into the raft, and they're like hanging on. And next thing you know, boop, I'm out of the boat. And what's the other thing they tell you? You want to be on your back, going feet first. I am on my face, going head first. And at that point, has that ever happened to you? No, because you probably threw your oar in and hang on. See? So I don't know which way is up, and next thing I know, there's I feel a giant hand grabbing me out of the water, and I'm slung onto the back of a kayak. And I'm like, it was, the rescue person. Thank God, literally, it was the hand of God. Think about your life sometimes. Everything's just merrily we roll along. Everything's going. All of a sudden, what in the actual heck is going on here? And just when you think, I'm a goner, like I'm thinking, oh, well, I knew I shouldn't have made this trip. I don't know why I thought I would do this. You get rescued at the last minute to contemplate what just happened. So that was me. What just happened? So we wait till he gets me out to the next thing, puts me back in the raft with my raft mates, because we still had a way to go yet. And I look at them all, and I'm like, come on, like we're supposed to try to navigate this together as a team. Like this is not, remember what he said. And so inside, a word to the wise, or maybe you have one experience like that, and you don't try to do that again. But here we come to the next rapid, and don't I try? Okay, now, we can do it, this way, this way, this way, this. I turn around and it's the same thing. They've got their hands, boom, I'm like, oh no, boom, I'm out of the boat again. It's like, go. So, same situation. I'm like trying at this point now to try to get my feet first, but it didn't matter, same thing. Boom, hand of God comes, slings me onto the back of the kayak, thank God. And I just said, you know what, I'm gonna walk, just put me on the side. Just put me on, like, fool me once, fool me twice, right? And as I walked along the side, shaking at this point, I was really like, oh my God. I started to contemplate, and I'm inviting you to do the same thing. Think about anything I'm saying. Think about your life. Who are your raft mates right now? And who are you trying to help navigate through a difficult, troubled water, but all they want to do is just keep throwing in the oar? How many times are you going to get bounced out of the boat of your life trying to... I didn't give up on myself. I didn't even necessarily give up on them. I just knew it was going to happen again. They're not ready for that. Leave people alone sometimes. But what we can do is, I love this idea of our work is in consciousness sometimes. We could love people from 1,000,000 miles away. And faster than the speed of light is the speed of love. Faster than the speed of light is the speed of love. It's instantaneous because there is no separation between any of it. I often say when you look at fish swimming in water, we see they're swimming in water, and they look at us and they say, look at those humans swimming in light. How do they breathe? Right? So there's no separation in it, but consider in the waters of life and how you're flowing, who your raft mates are, and what your role in it is. And know when enough's enough. The art is in knowing when to quit, right? Even if you're a jazz artist, you got to know when to not do that. Or let it just come through. And it doesn't mean you've given up. It just means I'm going with the flow, and the flow is telling me this way doesn't work. And go around it like the stones. They are there, but we can, if we were like water, the interesting thing that I love so much about water is it can take on any shape. Look at all of you. It takes on any shape. You pour water into, sometimes we used to get those little ice cube trays and make them into funny little characters. It takes on the water of that, and then it takes on a completely different consistency. It's ice. Then it can be like steam, which I consider like the rising soul. You can feel the energy of someone. I was telling Andy, walking around here, just feeling the energy of memories. You just walk into them. They're always here. The energy of people who are not informed. Now try to get that out of your cells. You can't. That's the beauty. So the waters of life, there are many different forms, many different vibrations, rates of vibration, and it's ours to fully embody and encompass all that we are capable of in a human form, that we have no limitations, really. It's, again, I use the analogy of hearing music that maybe some other people miss these resonances until we bring them into this realm for our senses to take in, but they are there, higher and lower, and just allowing for that stillness to catch that voice of the infinite and let it direct and teach us how to better go with the flow, how to better go with the flow. And then becoming like that still water where we can be the perfect reflection of spirit. Finding that stillness. We're sloshing around sometimes, busy doing. And sometimes we spill out our energy over the sides of our own body bucket, trying so hard to do. And it's important sometimes to just we're going to talk about this in the workshop, is just being still so that we can become that perfect reflection of Source as soul. And when we move into a room, we could be that neutralizing force that helps stabilize the water that might be rushing and gushing, just to make it calm, to help people across. Sometimes we don't have to go, after you've learned a lesson a couple of times, can't you just notice it and just say, yeah, I'm not doing that. hopefully, right? So instead of going into the water, we can just go like a bridge over the water. Well, who is it? What is it that creates that bridge? It's the infinite source. And that's it. That is your true friend, the one that's going to be with you till the end, through thick and thin, inside and out, everything you enjoy, everything you don't enjoy. It's everything, it's everyone, it's all there is. And it's that which you can say, I see that, I don't need to do that this time. Okay, take my hand, we'll go right over it. And it's not a spiritual bypass. This is a lesson that you see coming. There's a gentle way of getting through, over, under, across. You know, there was another story, my wife Erika loved water. I liked being by the water. She liked being in the water. And so she was an expert swimmer. I could not, I could hold my own enough to not drown, but I didn't love it. Some people just love water. So the first time we went to visit family on Kauai, we were body surfing. And to get out to a certain point, to make it, you have to catch one of the waves. You know what I'm talking about? So I'm going out like tentatively, like this, and then the water comes and you do that thing. And then you go out to the next one and you let it hit. She goes, no. She goes, that's not how you do that. You're only going to get so far if you keep letting it hit you. And, you got to let go. You have to get off the ground. But she said, you've got to dive under the wave. I'm like, oh, everybody, see, you all knew that. I didn't know. You have to dive under the wave or you're just going to get crashed. And so thinking about that, what a metaphor for life. To dive under the wave. All of the activity is on the surface. It's all on the surface, just like life. All of this stuff coming in, incoming. To get under the wave, to dive under the wave, to get out to where the deep, deep, deep is. And you can enjoy it a lot more. So enjoying diving under the wave, being one with the infinite source, and being more like water. And I just wanted to leave you with one more thought. Yeah, and just like the tears being the cleansing of the soul, it's the body's way of allowing ourselves to purify and let go of emotions. There are all these different chemicals that are released when we cry. So there's a time for being stoic, and there's a time to let yourself go. And so allow for what nature has provided for us to experience the waters of life, cleansing our own soul, revitalizing our own consciousness, and enjoying the waters of life, and recognizing that no matter where we are in consciousness, the infinite source of all, the source is the force is the source. It is with you, and it will carry you across the most troubled waters, and it'll laugh with you when you laugh. Tears of joy, cry with you when you cry tears of pain, but also become that perfect reflection of the still water and hold all in the light of your love, which is embodied in each and every one of us. Thank you. That was it. Thank you. Oh, I thought we were going to sing now. I thought we were going right into the song. I was going to start dancing. No?
I think we need another round of applause for our beloved Lisa Ferraro. Yes. Thank you so much, Lisa. So many beautiful metaphors in that talk. I love the idea of diving under the wave, because when you dive under the wave, you are free and relaxed and at ease. You don't have to be knocked over by the wave. And so that's a great metaphor for life. Thank you. And for allowing us to go with the flow. Yeah, go with that flow. Don't overwork anything. Don't get upset about anything. Go with the flow. Something good is sure to happen. Thank you for that. We're going to go with the flow now and go within into our community prayer. So staying in that beautiful consciousness, that tone that has already been set for us, as Robin Rice, Practitioner Emeritus, brings up our prayer box, And any ministers or practitioners who care to stand are welcome to stand, just to hold, to embrace this beautiful container that's been established here this day. So I invite everyone to take a deep breath, breathing in those waters of life, breathing in the love and the joy, the peace, the harmony, the goodness of all of life, knowing that there is one divine power and presence. That power and presence known by many names. Today I call it Mother, Father, God, knowing that that power and presence surrounds each and every one of us, and that we too are imbued with those beautiful qualities of the One. How good it is to know that God's grace and love is everywhere present surrounding us, and that the grace and the love of the divine is flowing through each and every prayer in this ministry of Prayer Box, knowing that all prayers are answered prayers, that each and every prayer is embraced by the loving arms of Spirit. And I'm so honored this day to speak a word for this month's nonprofit partner. The Go Abroad Foundation was created to support grassroots organizations around the world by generating financial support for community-based projects, contributing to the development of numerous nonprofit organizations and a variety of meaningful projects, blessing this beloved foundation and blessing the time that we have together today to hear more about our nonprofit. For our planet Mother Earth, gratitude for her beauty and resilience, and of course, our increasingly mindful stewardship of her. I also want to take a moment to acknowledge the Oakland Center is in Huichin, in unceded Lejeune territory for hundreds of generations. People belong to the land instead of owning it, blessing the Glen Echo Creek that runs underneath our parking lot and beautiful gardens here at the Oakland Center for Spiritual Living. And blessing our youth and the youth of the world, knowing they are guided by the loving mind and heart of the One. And blessing those in service, creating a world that works for everyone. And I'm knowing right here and right now, love, peace, comfort, and healing for all of those impacted by challenges of whatsoever type. Knowing that same love, comfort, peace of mind, and healing for Richard Williams, for Claudette Stiles, for Jerry Abergost, for Taylor, and for Christine Anderson, RSCP. And let us continue to hold in our hearts our world in prayer, knowing that peace is possible in Ukraine as well as other parts of the world experiencing war. And for everyone impacted by violence of any type, knowing that God's grace and love is everywhere present. And let us pray for continued wholeness and safety from the pandemic and any and all viruses and illnesses. We're also holding our beloved Teresa Gardner in our hearts as she continues to release her brother Ron, knowing for Teresa and her family, her mother and sister, and the entire family, peace of mind, peace of heart, knowing that God's grace is their sufficiency through this entire process that they are experiencing, and knowing that Ron is safe, that he's made his way safely, and that God is gracing him right here and right now. And I invite you now to go within your heart and call forth anyone who may be in need of a prayer. Whisper the name or names into the sacredness of this circle, of this sanctuary, the sacredness of this loving tone. So as the names continue to be whispered, we're knowing that God's love is surrounding each and every one in need of prayer this day. I am so grateful to speak my word and so grateful for each and every word that's been spoken this day, knowing that God's grace and love is everywhere present. And I too speak a word for our selection committee, knowing that this co-creation process is divinely inspired and moving through our community as we embrace the knowing that the right and perfect new ministers are ours right here and right now. So supporting this beloved team of this creation process and this candidating process. And for our community here at Oakland Center and for our beloved center, knowing peace, joy, abundance, goodness in every way, shape, and form for each and every one. How blessed we are. I just let these words be now into that law of love that always says yes to our heart's desires. Knowing all is well, all is good, please join me in saying, and so it is. Amen. Ashe. Thank you, Robin. Thank you, Kev. Beautiful. So guess what? It's our conscious giving time. Woohoo! This is a time when we get to honor our auto giving, where we get to honor all the gifts that are placed into our baskets at the rear of the sanctuary or here at the exit door. And just holding these gifts to our heart and just appreciating and blessing them and the good work that they do. We have a giving affirmation, and that affirmation says, and please join me with gusto, as I want my frequency of that of abundance and love, I become a transmitter of that love and abundance everywhere I go. Oh my gosh. And so it is. I just want to share a giving affirmation that just to hold the consciousness of the givingness of spirit and how wonderful the opportunity to give allows us to receive with such ease and grace. Please continue to know that God knows no large or small. So whatever you give from the heart, knowing it not only supports our community here at the Oakland Center for Spiritual Living, it returns to you in a greater, grander way than you can humanly imagine, and that's a fact. Thank you so much for your givingness. And now I welcome back our beloved musicians. You're back.
If you can get the image of the infinite being your bridge over troubled water. When you're weary, feeling small, when tears are in your eyes, I will dry them all. I'm on your side. Oh, when times get rough and pain is all around, like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down like a bridge over troubled water. I will lay me down. When you're down and out, when you're on the street, when evening falls so hard, I'll wash in and comfort you. I'll take your part. Oh, when you need a friend, and friends just can't be found, like a bridge over troubled water, I will ease your mind like a bridge over troubled water. I will ease stories of your soul. Bring light everywhere you go. Tap in and you will know the truth. Your truth, the way to be. A drop of water, refreshing to all you see. Be that love, be that light. Sing with me. Be that love, be that light. It's gonna be alright. Be that love, be that light, be that love right where you are. Like a light in the darkness. Whoa, I will be your friend. Like a bridge, like a bridge between the worlds, like the ocean meets the shore. Be in the liminal space. Grow to the outer edge of your being. Embody the consciousness of who you are. Be like the dervish dancing between worlds, bringing in your own soul song, your own light. Take on the shape of love. I will ease your mind. I will ease your mind.
Beautiful, Beth. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ah, your givingness brings this and so much more. Thank you both again. Just beautiful, beautiful service today. And we're not complete just yet because I am honored today to share with you, it's our Nonprofit Sunday. So that means our nonprofit partner for this month, the Go Abroad Foundation, we have with us Buck Austin from the foundation, who's going to come up and he's going to share a little bit about this foundation and the great work that they're doing in the world and how we can continue to support the Go Abroad Foundation. So Buck, why don't you come up? I'm going to prepare the mic for you so you don't have. Hey, thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Jerry. Well, Lisa and Kev, I think you're the definition of tough act to follow. I don't relish having to go up after that. That was amazing. You guys are incredible. I'm really happy and excited to be here today to talk with you all. It's been so welcoming and warm. Everyone here at the Oakland Center for Spiritual Living has made it really easy for me, and I'm very grateful for that. So thank you. I also want to give a special, oh yeah, I can take this off now. I also want to give a special shout out to Zoe DeMuro, who was instrumental in this happening. I know he's bummed that he's not able to be here today, but he's here in spirit for sure. So, okay. All right, so the reason I'm here today is to talk to you about a project called A Library for Bliss. You can go ahead to the next slide. Okay, we're going to stay in a blissful mood. So I'll explain a little bit about this. So in 2014, I traveled to the Philippines. You may remember that in late 2013, there was a really terrible typhoon there, Typhoon Haiyan, or also known as Yolanda. And I traveled there to do disaster relief work for the people who had been affected so greatly by that typhoon. And getting there, it was really amazing to see how you'd walk through a neighborhood and there would be a large ocean-going ship that had just crashed into a neighborhood like a child's toy thrown in the bathtub. And so it was an intense place to be. It was a difficult place to be, but I feel like we're doing really good work. The official number was that the typhoon claimed 6,000 lives. We were told by people there that there was no way it was less than 20,000 people. And there was a lot of work to be done. And so worked on some different projects while I was there, including things like rebuilding homes for people, distributing relief goods, clothes, medicine, food. But one of my favorite things that I was able to do while I was there is work with young kids. There was a project that I worked on where I would go to an elementary school during the day and teach a class in English, because in the Philippines, English can be a very, potentially very valuable job skill for kids. We may not think of a job in a call center as the most glamorous or lucrative job here, but there it could be something that would lift a family out of poverty. And so it was great work. Really enjoyed it. I would go to the school in the morning, and then after that, I would go to a community center and read books to the kids, play games with them. And one of the things, yeah, so there you can see that's Tacloban. That's one of those ships that was just kind of, deposited onto a neighborhood. So you can see the level of damage, and that was pretty typical for the area. And so, as I was saying, working in the schools, in the community centers, one of the things I did before going there was gather up books to take for the kids, because I thought they might enjoy having some books to read. I was shocked, though, to get there and realize the kids had no other books. These were the only books that were there within miles and miles for these kids. And so, I just realized that they were just kind of little sponges, as we know kids are. They just love to soak up information, but there just weren't the resources for these kids. And so I made a vow at that time that what I would do is create a library for the kids in this community center in this small village right outside of Tacloban. Because I just thought, these kids deserve to have the opportunity to learn. And so I did that after I got back to the States, sent a bunch of books. We raised a little money to build some bookshelves. A library was created in this small village in their community center. But then a funny thing happened. Word started to get out. Other small communities, other neighborhoods, other community centers, other schools started to say, hey, we'd like one of those libraries too. That might be kind of nice. And so I decided at that point that I was going to work with the Go Abroad Foundation and the local NGO, which is called Volunteer for the Visayans. And what we've done since that time, starting in 2014, is we've created 7 different libraries for different schools, community centers in and around Tacloban. And in general, it's a very poor area. Kids just don't have a lot to do. One of the things that happened, I noticed when we're doing a home building project, a lot of the neighborhood kids would come and just offer to volunteer because they didn't have anything else to do. So they would pound nails and haul dirt or sand or whatever needed to be done. Okay, and we goofed around a little bit too, played games and stuff like that. But it just kind of struck me that the kids didn't have anything to do. And a problem with that is, because it is such an impoverished area, if the parents feel like their children don't have anything to do or aren't getting a lot out of school, what they do in many cases is send them to the local garbage dump to look for food or to look for items that can be sold to purchase food. And so this is obviously not a good way for a child to spend their youthful years. And so partnering with Go Abroad Foundation and Volunteer for the Visayans, you can see there's me with some of the kids at the community center. And so what we've kind of targeted is this neighborhood that's called Bliss, which is a very poor neighborhood, but full of very kind people. I don't know if any of you have ever been to the Philippines, but people there who have next to nothing will say, come in, let me feed you. Come in, stay a while. Just the most generous, kind people that you could ever imagine. And so what we decided is that we wanted to build a community center for this community known as Bliss, just because there's clearly such a need there for this kind of resource in the community. And the structure will be a library, a community center, and a daycare. So it'll provide a lot of options for kids in the neighborhood, for parents in the neighborhood to send their child to a place where they can do something constructive, they can learn when they're not in school. Because a lot of the problem is the nonprofits, the NGOs that I've partnered with there, they've done a lot of work within the schools, but the question is then what happens when the kids are out of school? There needs to be resources there as well, because you can't just send them to the library, because there is no library. And so we've bought land in this neighborhood of Bliss. There's land, there's architectural plans, and so far we've raised $13,000, and our goal by the end of 2022 is to get to $37,000, because then we can start construction on this community center. Here you can see, this is an example of one of the libraries that we created, if you go forward a little bit here. So this is the before picture. This is a library called the Lucio Vivero Elementary School Library. So this is what existed before, and then this is what it became afterwards. And when I see pictures like that, it makes all the work worthwhile. It really hits home that this is just something that the kids treasure. They really use it quite a bit. So if you go forward a few slides, so there's one of the kids who helped to volunteer with the home building in Bliss. There's one of the schools that the NGOs there have, and there's our building. We got the rendering, so everything is set to go. We're just raising money right now to bring this into fruition. If you go ahead. So today I will be outside in the courtyard after the service today. There's any way that you can think of to donate. We take cash or check made out to Go Abroad Foundation. You can donate online. If you're here in person, I have handouts, so you don't have to copy all of this down right away. You can see me for a handout afterwards. If you go to the next slide, you can also feel free to email me directly. This is my personal email. If you have any questions, suggestions, ideas, anything, I'm glad to talk with you. So thank you so much for your time, and on behalf of the children of Bliss, thank you so much.
Just felt like I had a nice little visit to the Philippines. Beautiful presentation. I appreciate it. And Lisa, my Pittsburgh sister, thank you. Beautiful. And Kev, of course. Thank you. Wow, very, very full service, and I'm sure that your workshop will be quite spectacular. Very moving, just your presentation. So thank you all for attending and showing up today. The seats are becoming fuller and fuller during this time as we transition into more people showing up at our center. For those that would like a prayer at the end of the service, there will be practitioners at the end of at the entrance of the sanctuary that are really here to pray for you. So if you need a prayer, want some inspiration, have some things on your mind, want to celebrate, give gratitude, we're here to be with you, and we absolutely love to pray. We also have a ministry of prayer. If you choose to write down your prayer, put it in a prayer box, we have a ministry that actually prays for you during the week, and the prayers are very powerful. I know my prayers have been answered from my family in Pittsburgh, and they just love what I refer to as the God Squad that prays for them. So,
Did you pray for the Steelers win yesterday? Is that what happened? I had to ask. Thank you.
okay. Okay, so our closing affirmation today is, I am grateful for the waters of life that sustain me now. Okay, now Lisa will be singing, and after her wonderful song, please remember to exit the sanctuary. I know you folks love to hang out and chat it up here. It's not a COVID thing. It's not that we do not, it's like a regulation thing. We can't be talking in the sanctuary and chatting it up. Go outside where the air is clear and pure and will, help us stay all safe. Okay. All righty, Lisa.
Thank you. We're going to sing a song inspired by the lyric of Dr. Maya Angelou, and we put music to it. It's nothing can dim this light that shines from within. That's all we're going to sing. So once you catch on, sing along with us. nothing can dim this light that shines from within. Nothing can dim this light that shines from within. Nothing can dim this light that shines from within. Light that shines from within. Nothing can dim, nothing can dim this light that shines from within. Nothing can dim this light that shines from within. Nothing can dim this light that shines from within. Light that shines from within. Here we go. Nothing can dim this light that shines from within. Nothing can dim this light that shines from within. Nothing can dim this light that shines from within. Light that shines from within. Light that shines, light that shines. Light that shines from within. Light that shines, light that shines, light that shines from within. Peace and blessings. Thank you.